So I made a robotic arm the other day, and it was controlled by your camera, except it wasn't that good. It didn't have that much strength, and I spent half of the video working on logic. So I wanted to revisit that, and a few of you looked for were looking for more of that. So here that is. The first thing to start out with is the aiming servo. Now, instead of putting some sort of like normal one of these sensors on there, I'm actually just going to put two distance sensors down, and I'm going to configure them move their sensor output to a little bit negatives. Doesn't seem like they've equaled out. I'm going to turn off forces so we don't have to deal with the center of mass. Click both of these. We're going to set both of these to like -7. -8. Okay. And then when we put a panel right here, you can see that it would have to turn a little bit to see either. Now we're actually going to have that there, and then I'm just going to use a logic block, a normal display, a number display, right there. And then we can connect this to here and here. So this should be the basic module. Now I've actually swapped this so that I've rotated the bottom thing around, made it so that it's connected right here instead, and that if I look right, the right one triggers, if I look left, the left one triggers. And then, you know what, the shorter segments that we have, the better it's going to perform, because it won't have to go so long before it turns. So I wonder if there's something that we can do with this and this, and then connect this to here somehow. Maybe just something like that, and then a tube like that. So this will add a bit of width to it, but honestly that's fine. The old one was really big, but it also allows us to remove both of those. So now this is the whole segment. And then what I'm going to do is have a steering hinge off of this, hook that into both of these. Right should be this, so then that means that this one should be negative. And when I look left, it looks good, it goes right. Well, not right. When I look left, it goes left. When I look right, it goes right. The problem with doing it this way is that it has to be facing one way or the other, because we don't have that in-between that we have when it's facing backwards. Another problem that would have come up is that it would have attached to this if I had started to rotate this, so I think for both of those reasons, we're just going to switch to a slightly longer design. 4 blocks isn't too bad. Now, to make this longer, we're actually going to disconnect the seat, select all of these, hit save. That'll show up there, and then we can keep my blocks. And then that'll work for now. Oh, I forgot that I did in fact invert these, meaning that these two are going to be on -1, and these two are going to be on +1. The reason we saved it instead of duplicating was so that this one didn't get connected to this stuff, and that this one didn't get connected to it, and then these didn't get connected to the back one. So that if I look left, if I look right, or if I look forwards, or if I look slight right, then everything's good. Can't rotate this. Okay. I thought that it was going to work in a way that it didn't. So if I thought that this would connect here, but it doesn't. I blocked it up from this side, but not this side. Okay. Disconnect that. Once again, we're going to save it as that. It'll pop up right there. And then I can have it like that. I just realized, however, that I did not configure it beforehand, so I'm going to do that. It should be as simple as running both of these into this. Oh, but it looks like it's... Yeah, it looks like it's working. Okay. So then once again, we save this, duplicate it. Actually, that's not the correct thing to do. We just need to save this, and then we can duplicate it configured. I'm actually going to do that a few times just to show it off, but we will be rotating them. So this ended up working great for turning right, and did not end up working almost at all for turning left because it's colliding with itself. This is probably due to trying to compact it more than I should be, so we're gonna switch back to, well, probably this design, and then put a block here. And then we can put a hinge back here, but it is unfortunately 4 blocks long now. Now, one way to do this would technically be to just use these completely, but that is a lot less stable, and it can't hold as much strength as basically anything else, so I'm trying to devise a logic system to do it, and I think that this is going to work. I just need to save that, and then duplicate it again. Once again, that is just to save the logic groups, basically, so they don't try to copy over. Okay, so now this works, and as you can see, if I look over there, it does this. If I look over here, if I look somewhere in between, or if I look all the way over here, it'll still do that. However, I have an idea for maybe a better design that's going to let me double up the hinges, giving us more strength at lower speeds. So I'm going to try that out. It's also going to reduce the footprint, because my idea is simply to, if we flip these around to be over here, then we can actually set the sensor offset to be higher, like that. And then I don't know how the distance is going to end up working on this. However, if we have it... Where are they? I think we can just have 2 pipes here. And then I don't think that we'll have to worry about it. Maybe set this distance to, like, 0.15? Maybe it might work? Okay, 0.15 seems to be too great of a distance. So 0.10. No, also not working. Oh, what is 0.05 do? Yeah, so that works almost perfectly as planned. However, I would actually like to make it a little bit less because I want that range in between, if that makes sense. The range where it doesn't detect anything. So we're actually going to try 0.03. Okay. I would say that that works out decently well. So just for the sake of it, I added the hinge on the top 2, and then I'm just making it go this way and this way just to show it off, but I think that this is going to work just fine. So I think the next step would be to make this longer. I have added a little bit of a podium, and I've made it, like, go up and down, so this is actually working pretty well. However, I don't have as much range of motion because I feel like this whole thing needs to be longer. So for the sake of simplicity and not having to click to add each one, I'm just going to completely duplicate that whole thing and then put it there. So here it is longer, and I think that this works so far pretty well. Now, if you do go directly behind you, it starts to try and go the opposite direction, because that's just how this works. But overall, in general, I wouldn't say it's too terribly bad. One thing I want to do, though, is decrease the speed of these to maybe, like, 0.2. And then... honestly, less than 0.2, because this is going really fast, and then it did the bouncing thing. Which is not the most ideal. So it goes over here, and then it kind of snakes its way to the correct position as it counter-rotates itself, because they can only go so far. Okay. I would say that this is decent, at least. It's way better than what I had before. And then one way that you can shut it off is I'm going to have this on a toggle and then off by default, meaning that all of these just won't work unless if it's being pressed, because like I can untoggle it, I can toggle it on, and then right click here, you can see I added a magnet to the front, so let's see if it can pick up the bus from before. Okay, so here I've parked the bus, and I want to see if I can... It's still being a little bit too fast, I think, and it's still having that problem, but I want to see, just for now, if I can grab the bus. Oh, let's grab it like that, and then can we lift it up? Oh, we can by far. It's a little bit unstable, because these are steering hinges, but we definitely have the strength for it, which is something we didn't used to have. I've set it to be much slower, so we can kind of, like, ease into things, and then if I want to go over here, let's say I want to go up there, it'll self-correct and automatically go there. And then one thing I actually forgot to do was we have to make sure that all of these are on not vertically checks, or verticality checks, because we don't want this to behave any differently than this. So, like, that I think that will also improve it. Yeah, that seems to be better. Let's drive the bus back. Okay, so let's see if we can grab it, right-click, let's see if we can lift it up. It is still a little unstable when it comes to the whole grabbing part, but honestly, this is so much better than before. I bet I could use, like, steering servos, or rotating servos, I think they're called, to be better at this, but also, this isn't that bad. Like, if I throw this over here, I can then reach back over and grab it, pick it up, put it over there. So while this might not be the most precise thing, I think it's the best I've done so far. Let me know if you would like to see more of this, and I hope you enjoyed. See ya!